Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Monday and I'm going to take you through on how to create a simple music application. This music application will be able to read music from the server, that is from a back end, but we are going to be using a music URL from a Bensound. So you are going to see how it's going to be. It will have a seekbar, so stay tuned. So let's get started. The first thing we are going to do is to create a new project. We are going to use empty activity. So click next. Let's name it. So just name it online music application, online music player with seekbar, because seekbar is very important in music. Imagine you don't know how the duration of the music will be. It will not be a pleasant fact. So let's see how it's going to be. So let's wait for our application to finish loading. Try to connect to internet for some purposes. Remember that we are connecting to the internet, so it will reach a point whereby we are going to enable internet permission. So the first thing we are going to do is to create the XML file. So we are going to create the XML file. The XML file will have is just the interface whereby we'll see, when an app is being created, what you see is the XML. Is the XML file that you are seeing. That's why you are able to see things. But the back end is done on the MainActivity.java. So let's create the interface so that I'll be able to see some things and be able to touch them. So let's delete this and already set it to linear layout. We'll set it as orientation to be vertical. So the next thing, we are going to create an image view to indicate that it's a music app. It will have an image view. After an image view is going to have, so we are going to just get an image to use. We'll get an image to use in this app. So we are going to paste it in the drawable. So let's just paste it there. So alright. So the next thing we are going to do, we are going to use an image view so that we can be able to bring in the image file, that's the image file that we copied. But I think, what if we use the built-in image asset? Sorry for using image asset. We use built-in image vector. So let's click on the built-in vector image. So we look for we look for music player. Click. We need to set, I think it's good we set the color. We set it as blue. So let's draw it to make it to be blue. So set next, click finish. So let's use it in our file. Image view, set match parent, wrap content, close it. So let's bring the source. Let's use the source to import it. Alright, so I think we use image. How do we name it? Alright, is image, or yes, that is what we use, but it's too small. We need to increase the size. 100 dp is okay. Let's also set the height to be 100 dp. But does this image look good? What do you think? Alright, so let's see how it's going to be. Let's set the layout gravity, margin left. What are we going to use for the margin left? Alright, set it to 100. Center All right, so what next? I think is good like this. Yes, the image is better than the vector, so that's why I use it. So that's why. And the height, I decided to set it as 200 so that it will be larger. It will be large enough. So also we need a seekbar, as I told you that it will have a seekbar. So the seekbar also needs it need an ID. The seekbar need an ID. Okay, we have set it. So what next? All right. So what again? So let's just see how it's going to be. Just watch as I put everything in order. So I need the play button. So we need the play button. And also the pause button. So why are we going to need the pause button is because whenever the user click on the play, it will change to pause while the music will keep playing. So just need a very good naming convention. So let's bring in the button. The button is going to be an image view, so that I'll be able to set the the vector asset on it. So let's bring in the play button, the play image asset, the play image asset. So if I didn't explain, maybe the way it is, I didn't explain everything, but this is just an XML file which is very, very simple. For anybody trying to create a music player, you must have gone for a little in Android development. But if you still have any question, please let me know. So every other thing, let's set it to be in order. Set the layer gravity center. Set the margin top so that I should shift away from the seekbar. What next? I think the way it is should be alright. So let's move on. Let's get to the MainActivity.java and start writing our codes. So we need to bring in all the variables that we need: the runnable, the handler, the media player, the image button, which is the play button. We need to bring them. We set image view and set the variable as play btn. The next thing we are going to do is to set the seekbar and set it as seekbar. We are just importing all these packages: image view, seekbar package, runnable. This runnable is needed because of the seekbar, and we need handler. We set handler as handler. So the next thing we are going to do, we set the media player as media player. What again? We'll come to the main activity. The main activity, the onCreate. We are going to first of all reference the image button, the player button, which is the image button. You will reference it by the ID from the XML. So it's arrow.id.btn play. So the next thing will be the seekbar. Seekbar is equal to find view by ID. Find view by ID. All right. So what next? We need to set media player is equal to new media player. So at this point, we just initialize the media player on our onCreate activity. Then we initialize the handler also. Handler is equal to new handler. So what next to do? The next thing we are going to do, so we need to set the play button. The play button will set an on-click listener to it so that one can click it. Remember that this play button is just an image view. Even a text view can be set, an on-click listener can be set to it. So the next thing we need to do, we need to create we just need to create a play button, a play function, play song function. So this play song function is where we are going to write our code to play the song. So let's bring it down as well. So let's write some code. We are going to set a URL. This URL enable us to be able to get music from the server, that is from a REST API from the website into our Android app. So we set the URL.pass. So at this point, we'll be able to remember that we are just using a URL, but if we are to use a REST API, there's a way we can write it. But we're doing this for just a little educational purpose. Going further on our channel, we'll create something advanced that is better than this. So we set media player dot set audio stream type. So we said that. So this enables us to get the connection of song, to get the music from the server into our app. So that is what these lines of code does. So let's go further to do another thing. So we set media player dot set data source. So MainActivity.this URL, you can see there's error. We need to surround it with try catch block. You know what try catch mean? Try catch is to enable us to catch the error. So media player dot prepare async media player dot set data, set on prepare listener new media player dot on prepare listener. So just click enter. So at this point we are going to bring in the seekbar dot set maximum mp dot get duration. So what next? Media player dot start. So let's just write now. At this point we need to create another function for the seekbar again, because seekbar function is much. So let's bring it here. This kind of process enable us that our code should be neat. It help our code to be neat. So we set it as integer. We just set we should be able to know the current position of the seekbar before it will start moving. So we set the current position is equal to media player dot get current position, then seekbar dot set progress current position. Then we now bring in the runnable. Now the runnable is just like enable us to use the seekbar. The runnable work with the post delay. It works with the handler, and these two packages enable seekbar to work properly. So let's see how we are going to run it. So as we have set the runnable function, we still put the update seekbar function in it, and we set handler the post delay. So every 1 second the seekbar should increase by 1 second. That's why we use 1000 milliseconds, which is equal to 1 second. So the next thing we are going to do is this. So let's check what again. We need to also bring in seekbar dot set seekbar. So now seekbar has an on-click listener, so we can use our hand to draw the seekbar. Any position that we just draw the seekbar to, the music will start playing from there. So once we set the seekbar click listener, change listener, we set it from where we draw it to. Let the music start from there, start playing from there. And the music, so that's why we are writing this function. So from where it starts, music player dot seek progress. So seekbar dot set progress. So that is all we need to write there. So what next? I think we need to, let's check what we need to do again. Let's check. So this on-buffer listener, this helps us to calculate the ratio of the seekbar. So this is what this function does. So we set it as double. So double need to have points. We set buffer level gets np.get current position, then multiply by ratio. Please, if there's anything you don't understand, please let me know. So seekbar does set secondary progress. So we'll now set the buffer level there. Let's check. I think at this point everything is done. So let's set enable internet connection. Let's enable internet connection. Set use permission android permission.internet. So the next thing is to go ahead and test our music app, but let's cross check our code if everything is alright. Alright, there's one thing that we need to do. We need to set the drawable resource so that once we click on the play button, it should change to pause. So we set btn play button dot set resource image resource. So once a user click on the play button, it will change to pause. So let's fix this and go ahead to test our music app. Next time we are going to build an offline music app also. So let's test it.